Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to today's episode of the Diaspora Global Panel. With me today, I have Jude Nwa-Okolo from Dublin and Anthony Eze from the United States. I remain my humble self, Olakunle Lemboye from Canada. Today, we are going to discuss the latest developments about Abba Kyari, the Super Cop, who was arrested on Valentine's Day on February 14, 2022 for drug-related offenses and being a member of an international drug cartel operating in Brazil, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. He was captured on camera paying for 15 kilograms of cocaine he obtained and sold out of the 25 kilograms of cocaine seized from a suspected drug dealer in Enugu. He offered the NDLEA guys, Abuja Command, he offered them $65,000 for the 15 kilograms of the cocaine that was seized from the suspected drug dealer in Enugu. What made this case interesting is the fact that this said Abba Kyari was on suspension by the Nigerian police. And people are wondering how Abba Kyari was able to be operating freely and openly in the Nigeria police force. But before we go deeper into the Abba Kyari story, we just want to touch on latest developments happening in Nigeria and around the world. We want to talk about the electoral bill. And I'm sure Jude and Tony, you have a lot to say on the electoral bill that was signed yesterday by President Muhammadu Buhari. Let me start with Tony. What do you think? Good or bad, the electoral bill? Are you happy it was signed?
Good day. I'm happy to be here today. We've touched on this electoral bill in the past, and we were not happy then that the president refused to sign. The major issue then was non-acceptance of direct primaries. And it's like the president finally had his way, because the direct primaries that is of paramount importance was actually removed.
Yeah.
So it depends on which side you belong to. A lot of people, the full effects has not been done. If he has signed this in with the direct primaries, I think a lot of Nigerians will be so happy, because that portion is left unsettled. And as a result, we are still having a kind of RNG nomination in various political parties. So all hands must be on deck, probably to come up with another bill that may handle the issue of direct primaries, because that will be the beginning of peace and orderliness in electing an eligible, competent, and experienced presidential candidate that will do the bidding of the young youth of Nigeria. Because without direct primaries, what's going to happen is that by the time the next president is done with his office, they're going to arrange for a very good friend that's going to take over from him or her, and then we'll keep on going with our recycling project.
Thank you, Tony. That is extremely deep. Yes, I know that the president actually kind of forced his way, into having the direct primary, indirect primary, and the consensus, form of elections. President Muhammadu Buhari was against the idea of the National Assembly imposing just one way of conducting primaries on the political parties. So let me hear your take, Jude. And we want to say this. We are very grateful that you can come on here today, because we know that you are a little bit under the weather. I know that you are passionate about your country. Thank you for coming on. What do you think about the electoral bill that was signed yesterday?
Yeah, thank you, and welcome our audience again. Well, I think it's a winner for Nigerian people. Democracy has won at last, because people poured out on the streets this week. They were urging the president to sign it, and he has seen that there's no way he can hide. So whether he would sign it willingly or unwillingly, the fact is that it has been signed, and the voice of the people have been heard. Now we can quickly now say that we are happy to go to 2023, because without that, there would have been an obstacle progressing to 2023 election. So we know it might not be what he wanted to do, he planned to do, but the fact is that he has obeyed the voice of the people. And now we can forge ahead, and let's take it the way it is at the moment. Let us just move ahead with it. I'm just happy that he signed it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Jude. I know that one of the reasons why I remain hopeful about our political process is the fact that inserted in this electoral bill is the clause 50 that says that, the INEC has the authority to decide whether election results are sent electronically or manually. I believe that for transparency, the INEC, should embrace electronic transmission of results, because we know what happens when this is done manually. They can just waylay the electoral officers, they snatch ballot boxes, they do all that. So let's all hands be on deck, to actually, mount pressure on INEC to ensure electronic transmission of results. Do you still have anything to say, Tony?
I think that's all for now. We watch and see. Like I used to say, Nigeria most often come up with good laws. It's the implementation that we watch out for.
Yeah, thank you. And one of the clauses that was in this electoral bill that the president actually assented to, that he disagreed with, was clause 8412. That states that no political appointee at any level shall be voting delegate or be voted for at the convention or congress of any political party for the purpose of the nomination of candidates for election. The president claimed that this would disenfranchise, serving political office holders from voting or being voted for at conventions or congresses of any political party. Actually, I kind of agree with that, but let's just leave it for another day. We will delve deeper into this. So let's just move on. Now we have another story, which is the story of Ukraine. We cannot just let this go, because I know that, what is happening there is disheartening, and is in the news. And why this is so concerning for us on Diaspora Panel is because we know that we have thousands of Nigerian students in Ukraine. In fact, I have three people, three students that are very dear to me. They are kids of my friends, my friends' kids that are there. And these friends of mine, I love them so much. And I know how much they love their kids. And I know how worried these people are. Jude, what is your take about what is happening in Ukraine?
Yeah, Ukraine happens to be, well, it's not a tiny country like we think it is. About 40 million people in Ukraine, and I know they have wherewithal to go to war anyway. But the fact that Russia is highly more equipped than them worries them. Ukraine is a country that's supposed to stand on its own without any interference. They have the right to be a NATO, to go for NATO, say they want to be NATO, they want to assign it for NATO. And I don't see the reason why Russia should stop any country, legitimate country, from aspiring to be what it wants to be. I think it's just like intimidation. Russia is intimidating some countries around it, surrounding them, because they feel that they are world power, and if America says something, they too have the right to say something. I think that's what there is, a show of power. I think that's what is happening there. But I think it's time for Russia to know that everywhere is people are getting civilized, and they should leave countries alone. Whoever wants to do what he wants to do should do what he wants to do, and stop showing power. That's what I think. Ukraine is a victim, but at the same time, the world should rally around them and see how this can stop. Bring Russia to correct Russia, and let Vladimir Putin know that every country is a country on its own. They are legitimate rights like him, and I think that's what I would say. Ukraine should stand tall, and they shouldn't back down. For me, they shouldn't back down. They shouldn't be intimidated by anyone. Let them just stand to what they are. It's part of challenges. I think they'll come out of it.
Thank you, Jude. Tony, the Russians, they launched a devastating attack on Ukraine by air, by land, and by sea. I am watching on CNN. The bombing is just too severe. And Ukraine is a country of about 44 million people, European democracy, that these guys said they want to crumble. According to Putin, okay, I was forced to laugh when I read some of the arguments, the justification for going, into this war. Putin said that his goal is to protect people subjected to bullying and genocide, and that his main objective is to demilitarize and denazification of Ukraine. And I have not read in the papers about any genocide in Ukraine. In fact, to me, Ukraine is a vibrant democracy. But the only thing is that the president is a Jewish. That's all. He has a Jewish background. So what do you think about what Putin is doing? And what do you think, is the hope of foreigners, and especially the Nigerian students in that country? Tony.
Yes. Thank you for bringing up this Russia aggression against Ukraine. To regular listeners of political affairs, this is not new. This has been on since 2014. And to be clear, Russians are not invading Ukraine. It's Putin, for his own personal reason, are invading Ukraine. Backing up to history, we know that Ukraine was a part of USSR. And after the breakup, most of the country that broke up from USSR, they love Western democracy.
Yeah.
Where people can come out and fight for their rights, where there is free speech. This is not what Putin wants. And let us again diagnose what is scaring Putin. During the days of USSR, we had this Cold War.
Yes.
But it was a direct, kind of a direct enemies between him and the West and US.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this thing, most of the countries broke away and are friends, in quote, to his enemies.
Yes, they are affiliated with the enemies. Wow.
To some extent, we must pity Putin, but the way he's going about it is wrong. Within NATO, once you become a member
of NATO,
whoever attacks one member attacks everyone.
Yeah.
Now, Ukraine is at the boundary to Russia.
Yeah.
So Putin feels scared. But when you feel scared, you better go into dialogue, not taking the laws by your hand. A couple of weeks back, we discussed about the emergency of military coups in West Africa. Now, the alternative in the West is not just internal coup, but external coup. And that's exactly what Putin is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they know that ordinarily, they cannot just defeat Ukraine easily because of the people's will to remain in democratic process. But he felt that he's going to intimidate the current president and his executive so that as soon as he kicks them out of power, he will bring his own stooge that will be doing his bidding.
Yeah.
So both ways, when you look at it, what Putin has done is unforgivable. And he's supposed to go in for war crime. What we have now is a question of a bigger state trying to intimidate another to their own will. And you see that the main street Russians are not in support of this war.
Yes.
Because there is no genuine cause for this war.
Thank you.
So our thoughts are with the Ukrainians to stand up and defend themselves, let the world do their own bidding to make sure they help them out. Now, if you look at what is going on now, some people are blaming US and some part of the Western world for not joining in to help. No.
Yeah.
Two wrongs cannot make a right. If you are blaming Putin for invading another country, and now you want to do the same thing when Ukraine is not a NATO member, that's not in the right direction.
Thank you, Tony, for that in-depth analysis of what is happening there. I know that most of the Western nations and America have actually imposed sanctions on them, and then Germany actually put a stop to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline project.
Correct.
Okay, which is a 1,200 kilometer, gas pipeline project that runs under the Baltic Sea from Russia coast to Germany, and that is meant to ensure, trade, between Europe and Russia to facilitate, trade. And I know that they have put a stop to that. And Biden has actually sanctioned many Russian companies, that are building or that are affiliated with this pipeline. But countries are calling for the West, to impose more severe sanctions. And one of it is to exclude Russian banks from SWIFT. And we know what SWIFT means. It's just a way of secure communication, that borders on financial transaction, across borders. You know, and the idea is that once you cut off Russian banks from SWIFT, is going to restrict the country's access to the financial markets around the world. And that will be very, very severe. But surprisingly, 3 countries are blocking this. Germany, I'm talking of in the West, I'm not even talking about China. Germany, Italy, and Hungary. Jude, what is your take on this? Do you not think this is the time for the West to come together, a show of power, a show of force, and impose this severe sanction on this man? And I like what Tony said. Tony made it clear that Russians are not the ones attacking Ukraine. It is Putin is fixated on it. Ever since the Orange Revolution, okay, happened in 2004, we know that Putin has been on Ukraine. And in 2014, when the pro-Russian government fell in Ukraine, we know that Putin had set his eyes on Ukraine, on overthrowing a democratically elected government there. Jude, do you not think this is the time to just impose it and just do it once and for all? You know, and what do you think?
Yeah, you're right. But the fact is that there's a world politics. Every country look at themselves, first of all, and see what do they benefit from Russia. These 3 countries, like you mentioned, they have huge things to lose if they decide to just accept what other countries say. So they have to consider their own economic being, what the country needs and the need of their people.
The economic welfare of their own country, you know?
Of their own country, and make sure that they do not affect them
negatively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Jude is a bit frozen. So Tony, can you?
I can take it off from here. You see, we must be very, very clear with what is going on. The world has become a global village. And whatever action you need to take, you have to first of all find out how it affects your own home base. Most countries are in support of kind of putting more sanctions in whatever way, sports, travel, and all that. But before each individual country does anything, they have to think about their own internal affairs. And then let us be clear, whatever sanction you impose on Russia, Putin, will be a long-time process. Because a lot of people are saying with the current sanction that Putin is not shifting ground. No, sanctions take a lot of time to come into place. Again, you find out that Putin, right from 2014, he has a long-time plan for this invasion. It is alleged that he saved up to $600 billion dollars. I stand to be corrected. This is what one reader from the internet. So that being the case, it's like he knows that these sanctions, he's used to the sanctions. So he already packed a lot of weapons, financially and otherwise, waiting for this to happen. So in the interim, most of the banks that are going to be hit hard, it's likely he will bail them out. But there's no way you can defeat the rest of the world. Coupled with the fact that other major powers are not with the rest of the Western world. If you watch the security, United Nations security meeting, China could not condemn.
Can you imagine that?
Yes.
Can you imagine?
They played a neutral role. They want a peaceful resolution, but went away from not condemning the invasion of another.
How can a country wake up one day, they force our next Crimea, then the next thing they
Because guess what? China is into that kind of business internally. You understand?
Yes,
So
yes, yeah. Birds of the same feather.
Exactly. So you find that apart from storing these remedies by Putin, some big country like China are almost indirectly behind him. Remember during the Winter Olympic Games, he appeared to be the only major world power that graced the opening of the event. He used it as a way of getting reassurance from China that all is well. And we are seeing it playing out. And you know what? Why in America, for example, for the first time, an American president has predicted a kind of invasion of another country, and it was the prediction came out perfectly well. Biden all along has been telling everyone what Putin wants to do, and he has come to pass.
Wow. Thank you for that in-depth analysis. Our thought and prayers goes to the people of Ukraine, goes to the Nigerians that are living in Ukraine, and to Pastor Sunday Adelaja, whom I know is actually one of the most influential people in Ukraine. I watched a video about him that he's gone into hiding. He's no more in his house, but he allowed people to stay in his bunker in his house. So I know that he claimed that he has been targeted by the Russian guys, and his life and that of his family, you see, are in danger. So because of that, he had to take a runner, he escaped for his dear life. So our thought and prayer goes to them. And we are also happy on the Diaspora panel that the Nigerian government have said that they are willing to evacuate, the 4,000 Nigerians that are living and studying in Ukraine. A sad news emerged some days ago. It was the Twitter page, information posted on the Twitter page of the Nigerian embassy in Ukraine that said that Nigerians there should be careful, blah, 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 and that they are responsible for their personal security. And that didn't go down well with Nigerians. But we are now happy. The National Assembly, they quickly, they took it up. Then the federal government said they will be responsible for the evacuation. So we thank them for that. Let's just jump.
And a quick follow-up, please. Yeah. Has Nigeria officially condemned Russia's invasion of Ukraine?
I have to be honest with you. I have not seen it, but I'm thinking that I read something like that.
Okay.
But don't let me say I've not seen it. I think I saw something like that, but I'm not sure. 100%.
That would be very, very worthy of them, because we need to make it clear that this war in Ukraine, because we're in a global village, it's going to affect many people worldwide.
Yes.
Take, for example, it's already affecting gas prices in the United States and other countries. So if you feel that, okay, that's far away, Ukraine, that you are not involved and keep quiet, no, the effect going to go around the world. So the earlier Putin is stopped from further invading the country, the better for the rest of the world.
Yeah, so I read two contrasting news, on Premium Times 2 days ago. It says that Nigeria surprised but failed to condemn Russian invasion of Ukraine. That I read. I also read Russia-Ukraine crisis, Nigeria keeps mum. Nigeria kept them quiet. But 6 hours ago, I think TVC News says Nigeria condemns Russia's actions and sympathizes with the people of Ukraine. So maybe they were late into coming to that decision, but I think they have eventually condemned, whatever. So better late than never. That's what our people say. So we are kind of happy that our government has done the right thing. Let's just jump quickly to this story of Abba Kyari. And I think Jude is having difficulty connecting. Like I said, he's been under the weather. So let's jump to this story of Abba Kyari. You know, one thing that actually surprised me, and I mentioned it in the opening, was that this guy was suspended, but he entrusted himself, or he inserted himself into a deal going on about cocaine or whatever. You know, what and he was operating openly. You know, he went there with a couple of police guys, you know, police guys, to meet the undercover NDLEA agent that was pretending to be going along with the deal. Tony, what does this say about the police hierarchy in Nigeria?
I think we should say high-level corruption, and it's like a failed police force. The critical question we need to start with: why should a suspended officer go out on a scheduled duty? Because it's obvious that Abba Kyari was on suspension.
Yeah.
Who assigned a squad to him for a job to be done? Do we have a different meaning in Nigeria about suspension?
That's
because if truly something is not happening on the ground, Abba Kyari is not supposed to do any job for the Nigerian police until recalled.
Yeah.
And now this calls to question most of the other job he has actually done that we have been calling him a hero. How was the job carried out? Was it the same way the current allegation of reselling S-bits happened? Then,
those are questions that need to be answered.
Yes. And to be sincere, this our culture of overpraising people who do their job, like governors, president, and police. We brought this on ourselves. Because each time you overpraise somebody and over-dramatizing his achievement, somebody is a worker, somebody is an employee, he does a good job. Rather than having a systematic way of promotion, we decide to be calling him a hero. And this went into his head. He now saw him as extraordinary policeman, that the laws of the police does not govern him again. So those in charge, when this assignment was done, they need to be called to order. They need a lot of explanation to make. How did a suspended officer went out to carry out an assignment? That's offense number one. Two, I haven't caught him on camera. What are they still waiting to dismiss this man outright? He has committed enough crime. Now, this is a guy that the United States want to come over and answer some queries, answer some association with Hush Puppy. Now, it's very clear that Nigeria and United States, they have a bilateral relationship on extradition.
Yeah, and that has been in existence since 1935.
Okay, what is holding government in releasing this guy to the United States?
Thank you.
This is what we keep on saying, that when people who are highly placed in Nigeria, who are highly connected, when they commit a crime, we don't see them as criminal. There's a lot of alternative truth in Nigeria, whereby when you commit certain offense, you will be addressed differently. I'm pretty sure that if he had been a common man on the street, the law would have taken care of him. Evans is now about to be hanged because probably he doesn't have powers that be. If he had been one of the people on top, they would have called his own crime a different name, and he would still be walking the streets of Nigeria.
Of course.
It's very, very appalling.
Wow. Thank you, Tony. Jude, let me ask you the same question, because we said that Abba Kyari was under suspension and he was openly operating, in the Nigerian police force. that is this not a failure of the system? Because how can this guy be operating in the MPF unnoticed? So I believe that, the hierarchy of the police force knew that although he was under suspension, he was still acting as a policeman. So what do you think about that?
Well, Nigerian system is, we have to question Nigerian system because many police officers have done this and they get away with it. He just one that God has just left for us to see what is going on and how we can correct it. There are many of them who are doing the same thing. So it's what we know about, and we have been talking about this, and no one wants to how to address Nigerian situation. So how can someone who is on suspicion be acting as a police officer? And if he wasn't caught, he would have gone away with it. Many of them have done it and they've gone away. So it's a Nigerian system that needs to be corrected. I'm not going to say it's not new. It's a new thing to me. It's not a new thing. So let's ask the government. Let's ask the people on top. There are people who employed him. They are the employers. He didn't come there just as to get that position. There's somebody that employed him. The ministry that employed him should answer these questions, because if let's assume this happened in this part of the world, the minister of police or whatever would resign straight away. Mm-hmm. They don't even have to wait. They will resign. That's the law here. That's the way things happen here, because this is a breach in this ministry. He will say that he will just say, "Well, I'm not performing. If this can happen, I resign," and it goes straight away, and that's what they do. So, but in Nigeria, we will not see such a case. Just like when we had a problem with this bad petrol that came into the country. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we have a petroleum minister who cannot even answer the question. You see, similar things happen. And the people in authority are the ones to be accountable for these offenses. They are the ones to pay for it. Not even the person.
Unfortunately, we don't get that in Nigeria. We don't get it in Nigeria.
Yeah, we don't get them. Yeah, when things go wrong, we blame a particular person. What about the boss? What about the person employing? He should be held accountable. This one of them. This is one of the cases here. So let's dig into this case. And I believe that from this case, there are other people connected to him, because Abba Kyari did not just do this thing alone. There are some element of people in high hierarchy who are part of him. And let them investigate this man and make sure that this guy don't get away, and bring those people who are in line with him, who have any dealings with him, because he cannot do it alone. So, and let us pray that this issue does not die down, because those in high hierarchy may try to bring this issue down because of the connections. So that's what we Nigerians should press, that this issue let us stretch it. Yeah. Let us stretch it and make sure that we get to the point, to the bottom line of this issue.
Yeah,
it's very hard to understand.
Yes. You said something about the people in authority not actually, they are not answering for, they are not responsible. They feel they are not responsible for what is happening. Under them. That is the Nigerian system. That is the African system.
Yeah. We had the minister of petroleum said, they asked him a question about petroleum. He said it's not his business.
Can you imagine? Tony, let me say this. You know that in Canada, there was this massive protest. It's still going on, but it's a bit skeletal, which was a protest against the mask mandate.
Right.
Okay. And it happened in Toronto, Ottawa, the capital. And you know that the deputy chief, Jaswa Ude, actually resigned because of that. He did not commit any crime. He did not do anything. He only resigned because the people in the city said that he wasn't proactive enough, that they were not happy with his performance. This was people protesting. And we now see in Nigeria where This is a scandal. This is a major scandal. What do you think, Tony?
Nigeria and Africa has a different set of rules. And the masses are so weak because of poverty and intimidation to call them to order. In various countries, once you know that you fail in your responsibility to do your job, you're going to resign. But in our own case, because most of these people, their purpose of being in governance is to make money. And once they leave that particular job to resign, they are not sure of getting it again in their life. Therefore, they don't have principles. And nobody, oftentimes, if you don't resign in some countries, the powers that take charge of it will tell you to go. But who's going to tell somebody in Nigeria to resign? It's really sad that we don't have that kind of conscience. We don't have that kind of conscience to realize that your behavior can stop others from going into the same kind of behavior. You stay under a post and things are going wrong, and to you, it's okay. You can't take responsibility. Now, Nigerians on themselves do not hold them accountable. And then what do you want them to do? All they need to do is follow the flow. Others have been doing it. It's like others have been, even if you talk about somebody stealing money in Nigeria, the usual thing is that, is he the first person who have stolen? Others have done it. But not knowing that if you continue to go this way, more and more corruption will be there. The government will be in disarray. So we are not happy the way things are going in Nigeria.
You know, beneath Abba Kyari's facade of professionalism, you know, we could see that this guy had a lot in his skeleton, in his closet, a lot of skeleton in his closet. You know, the FBI, you know, claimed that Abba Kyari used his position, you know, to help, you know, Hush Puppy, to intimidate one of Hush Puppy's, you know, acquaintances, you know, that was going rogue in a scam operation. Okay, the problem is this, and I want to ask this again, is that how could this guy operate for such a long time? This guy now, he was romancing the former nice, unscrupulous element in our society. One is into drug dealing. So who knows other things this guy was involved in? How could he have operated, you know, to such an extent? And I am sure this guy will have accomplices in the Nigerian police. So, and then we've just been hearing his name. It's only his name. They said that he was arrested along 4 other people, you know, regarding the drug-related offenses. Okay, but we are saying, but then what we are saying here is that how could this guy have operated for so long freely?
Remember, he's a part of the drug cartel. Nigeria, Ethiopia, and Brazil.
And Brazil, yeah.
So Nigeria should be prepared to be receiving more allegations from those countries. Like you said, anything that happens in Nigeria happens with everyone involved. The Nigerian police are not the only culprit in this business. The larger society are involved. And like I said in the opener, we should make sure that we revisit some of the cases this guy was involved that we
involved in. Thank you.
A hero, because some people are currently maybe serving jail sentence.
Yeah.
Because of his so-called heroism,
especially his actions in the southeast. Exactly. The IPO, all those things.
Exactly.
You know, we need to get to the bottom of it.
Exactly.
Did this guy rope some people?
Yes, that's the point.
Into problem.
Yes.
You know, we have to investigate his malicious activities there. Because I watched videos where people are claiming that what has been alleged, they were not involved. And the country, the police, they were celebrating this guy as hero. So let Tony, you are making sense. I'm sorry for just jumping in, but I just couldn't.
Exactly. We need to revisit these people so that the innocent Nigerians who are suffering at the expense of this guy heroism could be saved.
Thank you.
You understand? Because Nigeria, like I said, we call this problem on ourselves. And we should stop glorifying people who are doing the contracted jobs they applied for. Abba Kyari applied to be a police officer.
Police guy.
Why would we be worshiping a police officer for doing his job?
Thank you.
See what I mean?
That's it.
We keep on praising governors for tarring our roads. We keep on praising government officials for doing their job. Are they not employees of Nigerians? Do your job. Use the normal systematic way of promotion. Oftentimes in the police force or other armed forces, when you do a gallant job, they promote you to certain levels. They don't go out there making you a hero, a pope, or this. This guy, even in Lagos, they were carrying him shoulder high. He had performed miracle for doing.
They're inviting him to parties, doing all that.
Doing a job. And all human beings reason almost similar. Once you praise a child, he blows his head. Gets into his head. And that's exactly what happened to Abba Kyari. He felt he's now a giant of Nigeria. Untouchable. Until we bring him and use him to set an example, this thing will continue.
Thank you, Tony. Jude, what do you have to say?
Tony said, nailed it. We have to go to the bottom line of this issue. Let's find out where the problem is. It's a Nigerian thing.
Do you not think it's the failure of the system? How this guy could be operating, unnoticed for so many years?
100%. This guy.
Do you think Ed must roll?
Yeah.
It's not only about Abba Kyari. What about others?
No. This guy I think he has a godfather somewhere in the Nigerian system. There's a godfather. There's a man. There's somebody there who he held airtight and know that nothing can happen to him. And let me just tell you. Let me just put it here that this case we are seeing may die down we may die down in the next 2 months. We might not hear about it anymore because he has a godfather. So the first thing I think they should do is to America requested for him. They indicted him for FBI want him. I think they should release him to America, let him go to America. And why he's in America, they'll be judging the case here as well. Otherwise, this guy will disappear. Because there are people there. There are so many links. It's not a day thing. It's not a month thing. It's not a year thing. He has been doing this for a long time. Even the money he's getting from it. I tell you the truth. I'm saying from my own perspective here that the money he's getting from this is being shared among those people on top of him.
Yeah.
So we should.
Tony, you agree?
Yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, "Oh well, it's just a rumor."
No. You see, when crime is going on in Nigeria, and you think somebody appears to be impossible to arrest or taken to court, there are people who have shared this money. Okay, let me give you a typical example of many failed contracts in Nigeria. A road contract is given to your city, and you discover that the contracts have been awarded, but it's abandoned. Why is the state governors not prosecuting them? Because often that any money that is out there is being shared among members of the group. And when you want to probe any of them, they are not so willing to prove because they will be exposed. And that's exactly what is happening to Abba Kyari. Abba Kyari is reporting like a police sergeant at the checkpoint. Is making money for a group and being shared. And now, if you put sellers, you inject Abba Kyari where he cannot control his senses and they want him to talk, the people he will expose, you will be dumbfounded.
Thank you. Thank you for that eye-opener. You know, I read it in the papers and I was really shocked. Honestly, let's say this on the diaspora panel. We are not alleging anything. And we know that the accused is innocent until proven guilty.
Correct.
We are not saying Abba Kyari is guilty.
No.
But we are just analyzing all the evidences, all the stories that we have. And even what the Nigerian police force alleged, okay, the agency is serving in, although under suspension, alleged that this guy is a drug cartel, one of the kingpins, you know, operating between Brazil, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. So what is there to dispute? I don't see anything to dispute. You know, a story emerged that he was suing the federal government for 500 million and 6 is freedom from detention. You know, I read the story and I was trying to kind of understand what his demands were. You know, could he, I don't know what he was trying to say. I don't know. Jude, are you very acquainted with that story that he sued the federal government, you know, for 500 million, you know, and according to this lady, I've forgotten her name, but she's the daughter of Chief MKO Abiola, and on this news, Arise with Ruben Abati. What the lady said then was that he thinks that Abba Kyari's lawyer are just throwing everything, you know, to see what will stick. You know, what do you think to that story?
Yeah, what is Abba Kyari is trying to say there is that they have no fact. Where's the fact that he did all this thing they're saying? And because of that, he's suing the federal government for deformation of character. That's why he's suing them for 500 million or 500 what? That's what he's suing them for. That he's not guilty. That what they said is lie. All the evidence they have is all lies.
Even with the video.
Yes, that's the reason why he's suing the federal government. Even he did not even wait for them to go to court. They want to sue.
And he went to court and just said that they should. Oh my God, Tony, what do you think?
It's just a way of complicating the story so that it will not go anywhere. And look, let me tell you the truth. The fact is this: Abba Kyari is not doing it alone. All this that you are seeing here is being planned among his group. We have to be very serious with this. We have to continue saying about this until we see justice done. Abba Kyari, if he's trying in Nigeria, he will not go anywhere. He has to go to America. He has to go to FBI, sit down with them, and then they try him there. That's the only way we can get a result out of this. In Nigeria, believe me, Abba Kyari case, in the next 3 months, you will hear it no more.
Thank you. Tony?
Yeah, I agree with Jude. This is a delay tactics. And you will see how it plays out. He will delay the trial. The powers that be will delay the trial. Or they come out with a shady trial where they probably gave you like 2 years or 3 years. All their target is just to delay being extradited to United States.
Yeah.
Because every criminal fears to come to United States because there is no lobbying, there is no bribery and corruption. I'm not saying America is 100% clean, but at least justice here is seen to be done. No sacred cow here. If you are guilty, you are guilty. And most criminals around the world, including drug cartel from Latin America, when you say you want to send them to America, sometimes they prefer to commit suicide than coming to America for trial because they know that when you come, just make sure it's not something that involves killing. And you will have a reasonable number of years until you get older that you become useless. So this is a delay tactics not to be bamboozled into sending him to America. Because once he comes to America, the tendency is that the exposure of other criminals under him will be out there. And they will be calling them also to come over and testify.
One by one.
Which you can never do in Nigeria.
Wow.
Some people own Nigeria.
Wow.
And unless you belong to their gang, there is different level of treatment for different Nigerians.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. We have come to the end of today's program. But before we go, let's just give our social media declaration around Abba Kyari's case. What advice do you have to the federal government? What advice do you have for them, for the federal government of Nigeria? Do you think this is the time where the Nigerian police need a complete rejog and overall, to ensure that we kick out the unscrupulous elements in the Nigerian police force? Do you think it needs an overhaul? Jude.
Yeah, you see, Nigeria was rated as the second worst corrupt country in Africa or in the world last week by Transparency International. The reason was that because there are some cases lying down, corruption cases that have not been tried over years. Now, this is going to drop down our rating if this one is not treated, because the world is watching. So the government should take this case very seriously, deal with it in a manner that the West will be happy with it, that it's been dealt with. Comply with the West, and let this man be treated in accordance to the law of that will suit everybody. That's the only way Nigeria its ratings can be shooting. Can go up again. That's the only way we can be regarded as one of the countries that is working against corruption and injustice and all this crime going on everywhere. So that's my own say today. Nigeria it's a test for Nigeria now. Well, let's see how it comes out. But the government should do something because it's a big test for them.
Yeah, I'm sure the federal government is listening to you about the Abba Kyari's case. And what Jude is saying is that the case must not die. This is a test. The world is watching. And that, Transparency International has actually rated Nigeria as maybe the second most corrupt nation in the whole world or in Africa. I think, Tony, what do you have to say in your social media declaration?
Yes, basically all of us are saying the same thing. This guy should be tried. First and foremost, he should be dismissed because he has committed enough crime to warrant dismissal from the police force. 2, we should not look at the problem of Nigeria as only police problem. All of us are corrupt. And the earlier all hands are on deck to correct this anomaly, the better for the country. Basically, the problem of the Nigerian police is that of recruitment. When we are recruiting new police officers, there are a lot of armed robbers who have no job that goes into Nigerian police. There's a lot of people of questionable character that we recruit in the police. We should have a better ways. What should look like what they do in foreign country, background checks. If you want to recruit somebody into the police force, check the person's background, if it's possible, because sometimes it's difficult to know the background of every person you are dealing with. The federal government should sit up and allow the law to follow its normal course. If the federal government and other powers that be do not interrupt the proceeding of this Abba Kyari case, the Abba Kyari will receive the right justice. And then, like we said, we have not condemned Abba Kyari until he is proved otherwise by a competent court.
Thank you, Tony. I think the panelists have spoken and they have done justice to this topic. I don't think I have much to add other than to say that, to reiterate what the panelists said. The world is watching. This is a test. Ensure that justice is done and that Abba Kyari answers for his alleged crimes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please, we want to ask you to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We thank you for helping us to reach 100 subscribers. This is a milestone. We are not, we appreciate you, and we are not taking your subscription to our channel lightly. Thank you. And to Anthony Eze, I would like to say a big thank you for coming on today. To Jude Unwa Okolo, a big thank you for coming on today. We really appreciate you. And I remain my humble self, Olakunle Lemboye. We see you again next time.
That's a wonderful one.
Yeah, I think Jude needs to stop it.
Oh.